Greetings, crafty friends. Welcome to another episode of Angela Shows You. Today, I thought we'd take a few minutes and we'd talk about some tools for your Cricut machine. So, whether or not you are new to Cricut or you've been using yours for a while now, I have had my Cricut for several years, but I always enjoy listening to talks about various materials and things that you can use and do with your machine. So I am hoping that whether or not you're new to Cricut, you will find some of this information useful or helpful. And if you do, I hope that you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel Angela Shows You, I do hope that I will earn your new subscribe notification. So with all that being said, hello. Today is Wednesday, September 13th, and I am just wanting to do a little chat about materials for your Cricut. So if you did not know, there are pens for your Cricut machine, and they go in your Cricut machine. There's a slot for a pen, and it's right next to the blade. So what you would do is you would take your whatever color you're going to use, and you take the cap off, of course, and you stick the pen in, and you just push down on it until you hear a little click, and then you know that the pen is in place. So there's a bunch of different pens. There's regular pens. There's ones that are glittery. Of course, you can get just black pens, and they also have markers, and they have infusible ink pens as well. So one thing that you'll want to do with the pens or the markers is just kind of watch for the tip size, because they do have like a fine tip and a medium tip, and then of course there's the markers as well. And so those are excellent to use on cardstock, and then you could use the infusible ink pens. So if you're doing ornaments maybe, or something on wood, stuff like that you would want the infusible ink on. Maybe you're cutting material and you're doing like appliques, so you could, maybe you want to cut out a heart with an applique, and then you want to put a name in there. You could use the infusible ink pen for that. So lots and lots of opportunities. You could also use the infusible ink pens if you were doing coffee mugs. That's actually why I bought my infusible ink pen kit, was for coffee mugs. So what you would do is you would take your paper, your sublimation paper, do your design on there, print the paper out. Don't forget to mirror the image before you cut it. Then you would, take your paper. You would want to cut out the thing. Use your heat safe tape. Tape it onto the mug, and then pop it in either your Cricut mug press or your regular mug press, whatever you're using. I have a Cricut mug press. So that's another idea with the infusible ink, is using it on mugs. A lint roller. This was the last thing I thought that I was going to need when I started using my Cricut machine. You want a lint roller if you're doing sublimation on t-shirts, or bags, or really anything. And the reason why you want the lint roller is you just want to make sure that you get any little itty bitty threads or particles off of your material before you lay the image down and press it, so that you don't end up with that little fiber that is now part of your image. Because then, I don't know about you, but that would drive me nuts, because I would always think that, oh, there's something on there, and it's not, because you put an image over it and then you heat pressed it right on, and now it's a permanent fixture on the whatever, the t-shirt, the tote bag, whatever. So this is a brayer. I use this if my mat is starting to not be really sticky anymore. I will use this, and you just will pretend this is your mat for a second. You got your vinyl on it, maybe it's not sticking, just give it, I use kind of firm pressure on it. So on my hard surface on my table, just kind of give it, a couple good presses, and this really helps to get your vinyl onto your cutting mat. Oh my goodness, words are tough some days, right? I use it occasionally on paper, but not too often. I really only use it if I'm cutting cardstock, if it's really, really a weak cling. But I actually really prefer just to tape the corners of the cardstock onto the cutting mat, because I found sometimes doing the brayer, I'll get it like a more of an adhesion in the middle, and of course that's a lot of times, if you're using the whole sheet, then it just makes it a little bit tougher to get your cardstock off of the mat. So this is the Cricut brand. I know that they do have other brands as well. This is the light. This helps you with weeding your materials. This is really good for regular vinyl, of course, HTV, sublimation, if you're using the sublimation transfer sheets, but it also is good for cardstock. I have found that this is most helpful if I'm weeding on dark, because so you'll put your vinyl or your cardstock on top of this. Now sometimes it does, if you've got any curling a little bit, you could go ahead and tape the corners of your image down so that it lays flat, and then you turn this on, and it actually does adjust. The Cricut brand one adjusts the brightness of it, and it really helps you to see where the cut lines are, so you know where you're weeding. And then this one does, it's rechargeable, so it just plugs in and you can recharge this. I've had this now for a couple of years, and the battery in it lasts for a really long time. I think I've only charged it maybe 5 or 6 times. It lasts quite a while, because you're only using it for a few minutes at a time for the most part, unless you've cut something really, really intricate that takes a long time. But yeah, this is rechargeable. It's nice and thin. I store it right up there, where my Cricut mug press is there as well. I just lay it right on the side, so all I have to do is just grab it real quick and use it, and then I just slide it right back there. Couple other things that you may enjoy doing with your Cricut machine is making stickers. So I've got this vinyl sticker paper. This is matte. I do believe that they also offer a glossy. So you would just pull up in your design space, lay out your images on design space, get them all arranged. Of course, you want to maximize your page, so sometimes you do need to do a little bit of rearranging. And then you would feed these through your printer first, and then these would be a print then cut. So there's 2 different kinds of cuts. You can do a kiss cut or a die cast cut. So depending on if you want your sticker, if you're gonna the sticker sheets that you buy in the store. So you could do one whole sheet of, a theme or whatever sticker, or if you were doing labels for somebody, maybe you've got sugar or flour, whatever, rice and powdered sugar, you could do a 1 sheet, and then you would just do, I believe it's the kiss cut that just cuts kind of around the image, and then you would peel it off of the sheet, where I think the die cast cut actually would cut the sticker and the paper, so your sticker would be one. So like if you wanted to just do up a bunch of unicorns, maybe, or gnomes or something, you would cut it straight out, and then you could sell an individual sticker. I know I had some, but I don't like these. So these I printed, and then I cut these out. And then so you would just peel the back of these just like a regular sticker. So these would be ones that you would sell individually instead of on a sheet. So those are a ton of fun to make. They're also very popular, and you can really get, I mean, depending on the size of them, you could probably get maybe about 10 to 12 stickers on one of these pieces of paper. Of course, that depends on how big it is that you're cutting them. So that's why, you know, I kind of hesitate sometimes to give volumes, because it really depends. If you're doing large stickers, then of course you might only get, you know, maybe you do 4. If you're doing a bunch of tiny ones, then of course you're going to get more. So it really just depends, like I said, on the size of the sticker that you're doing. And then this, I have played around with this a couple times. I actually bought this at Walmart. This is, no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I ordered this on Amazon. I've seen these though at Walmart. So I either got this at Walmart or I ordered it on Amazon. I'm not sure. I tend to think Amazon now that I take a look at the brand. This printer's Jack. So this is, if you want to do an image and you want to put it on like a dark t-shirt or a dark tote bag, you know, they've got an apron on here. They have a pillow. So if you want to do something sublimation and you want to put it on dark fabric, you would print it on here. This is another print then cut. So you would send this to your printer machine, print it, and then you would feed it through your Cricut machine, and it'll cut all around the edges, and then you would peel it, stick it on your image, and then heat press it on. I believe for these, I would have to double check, but I think for this, you do not mirror it. I think this just goes through the printer right side, because this goes face up. So you stick it down on the t-shirt and the image is face up, so it's the right way. So this doesn't have to be mirrored. However, I would definitely say before you print, double check the instructions, because other brands may be different, but I do believe for this particular brand, for this one, I think when I did a couple test ones and you did not mirror it, but you know, they have an excellent, they always have an excellent instructions. So like this one tells you to use with an inkjet, not a laser printer, to use on dark color cotton or nylon fabrics, t-shirts, hats, aprons, bags, and more. This one actually says to use pigment ink, not sublimation ink. So this one you could actually just send through right on your regular printer, not even a sublimation printer. To be honest with you, I hadn't even noticed that before. I think when I used this, I did send it through on my sublimation printer. But it is nice to know that you could pop this through on the regular printer. So just kind of, you know, take a look at all the various, there's tons of options out there. You can get these, I don't know that I've ever seen something like this at Target before, but like I said, Walmart, I know I've seen these at Walmart. I think though they're in with the printer paper. I don't think that they're in the craft department, but your Walmart may be different. I have 2 Walmarts near me, and neither of my Walmarts have these in the craft section. They're actually with the printer, like with the office supplies. They're not even with the printers, they're with the office supplies. So you might even be able to look at a place like Staples, or Office Max or anything like that. They also might sell something like these as well. I don't know about Hobby Lobby. I've never looked for them there, so I'm not really sure. But those are just a few tools and fun things that you can do with your Cricut machine. So I hope that at least one of these is something new that maybe you didn't, know about, or maybe you've been thinking about the light pad. And I mean, this is September, so Christmas is a little ways off, but it is coming, so it might be something that you could consider giving a Cricut crafter as a gift. Or maybe you've been thinking about getting one, but you didn't want to jump and make that purchase, so maybe you want to ask for it for a Christmas gift. I want to say these run about $50. So I hope that you find this episode helpful, and like I said at the beginning, I hope that you will give this a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber yet, I do hope that you'll consider subscribing to Angela Shows You for all the future content. We're going to be using some of these materials in future episodes, and we're going to be making things. Now that Christmas is coming, I'm really going to be getting up into high gear with the making of projects. So I would love it if you would join me, and hopefully I can give you some inspiration on gifts to make to give. Have a good day.